Pressure will make you feel like you're about to break, but in reality, it's proving what's inside you. The greater the weight, the greater the treasure. When you feel life squeezing you from every side, don't think of it as punishment. Think of it as a sign that something valuable is in you. Gold doesn't shine until it goes through fire, and diamonds don't sparkle until they endure the pressure. What you're going through right now is not designed to crush you. It's designed to reveal you. Think about it. Every person you admire, every person you respect, they didn't become who they are without pressure. Nobody grows in the comfort zone. Growth happens in discomfort, in the stretching, in the testing. That's why the seasons that feel the heaviest are the seasons you'll look back on with the most gratitude. Pressure is not the enemy. It's the doorway to purpose. Without pressure, you'd never know what you're capable of. Without resistance, you'd never discover your true strength. You are more resilient than you realize. You can handle more than you think you can. The evidence is that you're still standing after everything you've already faced. Every test is telling you something about yourself. Every challenge is shaping you into the person you were created to be. Pressure doesn't just show you who you are, it shows you who God is in you. You'll never really know His power until you've been in a place where your own power wasn't enough. And sometimes the pressure doesn't just come from the outside, it comes from the inside. The internal battles, the doubts, the fears, the insecurities, they push against your spirit until you feel like you can't take anymore. But even in those moments, there's a deeper strength rising up inside of you. If you quit under pressure, you'll never see what you were carrying. Don't walk away before the treasure is revealed. Don't run from the weight and show me. It's there to build you, not break you. What feels like a burden is really a blessing in disguise. When you finally come out of this season, you're going to look back and realize it was the pressure that pushed you into your purpose. You'll thank God for the very thing you once asked Him to take away. You'll see that He wasn't ignoring your prayers. He was answering them in a way you couldn't understand at the time. So don't despise the pressure. Let it shape you. Let it refine you. Let it pull out the greatness that's been hidden inside of you all along. Storms have a way of exposing what's weak and strengthening what's strong. You don't grow when the sun is shining and the skies are clear. You grow when the winds are howling, when the waves are crashing, when you have no choice but to dig deeper than you ever have before. The storm is not there to sink you, it's there to strengthen you. Think about a tree planted in a windy place. Every time the wind blows, the roots push deeper into the soil and the trunk grows sturdier to withstand the force. The same thing is happening in your life. Every storm you've endured has been pushing your roots deeper, teaching you to stand taller, and preparing you for greater heights. It's in the storm that you discover resilience you didn't know you had. It's in the storm that you learn how to pray like you never prayed before. It's in the storm that you realize your faith is not just for fair weather, but for the darkest of nights. The storm is not your enemy, it's your teacher. And storms also separate. They separate what's temporary from what's eternal. They shake off the shallow things and leave behind what truly matters. The storm has a way of stripping you of what you thought you needed so you can discover that God is all you really need. You may not like the storm, but you need it. Without it, you would never see how strong you really are. Without it, you would never know the depth of your faith. Without it, you would never experience the God who calms the wind and the waves. The next time you're in the middle of a storm, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What's this storm teaching me?" Because every storm has a lesson, and every storm leaves you stronger than you were before. Storms don't last forever. The skies will clear, the waters will calm, and you will come out different than when you went in. Stronger, wiser, deeper, more grounded, more confident in who you are and in who God is. So don't curse the storm. Embrace it. Because when it's over, you'll realize it wasn't there to destroy you. It was there to prepare you. Waiting is one of the hardest tests you'll ever face. You pray, you plan, you push, and still nothing seems to move. But just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. A delay is not a denial, it's a redirection, it's protection, it's preparation. We live in a world that worships instant results, but God's timing is not like ours. He sees the full picture when all we see is a snapshot. Sometimes what you're asking for isn't ready yet. Sometimes you're not ready yet. And sometimes the reason it hasn't shown up is because there's something better waiting for you down the road. Think of all the doors that didn't open for you. At the time, you may have been frustrated, even brokenhearted. But looking back, you can see that what felt like rejection was really redirection. God wasn't withholding something from you. He was leading you to something greater. Delays build patience, and patience builds character. It's easy to trust when things happen fast. It's harder to keep trusting when you're waiting year after year with no sign of progress. But faith isn't faith if it only works on your timeline. Faith is trusting God's clock, even when yours is ticking loudly in your ear. While you're waiting, you're not wasting time. You're being shaped. The waiting season is where God develops endurance, teaches humility, and stretches faith. You may feel like nothing is happening, but behind the scenes, everything is falling into place. The worst thing you can do is give up right before the breakthrough. Too many people quit in the waiting season, not realizing how close they were to the answer. Don't let impatience rob you of the promise. Don't let frustration push you into a counterfeit. Every delay you've experienced was not meant to discourage you, but to position you. Every not yet was God saying, I'm working something better. Every pause was a setup for a bigger move. So don't give up in the delay. Keep walking, keep believing, keep preparing, because when God finally moves, it won't just be on time, it will be right on time. Life will test your endurance. It will try to convince you that you don't have what it takes, that you can't handle one more thing. But if you stop and look back, you'll see that you've already survived what should have taken you out. The proof of your strength is in your survival. You're built to last. Think about the nights you cried yourself to sleep, but still woke up the next morning. Think about the losses you thought you'd never recover from, but here you are. Think about the times you almost gave up, but something in you wouldn't let go. That's not weakness, that's strength, that's resilience. That's God holding you together when you thought you were falling apart. Life doesn't build fragile people. Every battle you've faced, every hardship you've endured has added another layer of toughness to your spirit. You may bend, but you don't break. You may stumble, but you don't stay down. You've been tested and you're still here. That's evidence that you're made of something greater. The enemy keeps trying to stop you, but he can't. He throws his best shot and you get back up. He whispers lies, but you keep moving forward. He thought you'd quit by now, but you're still pressing on. That's because you weren't built to collapse. You were built to conquer. Every scar you carry is proof of what you've overcome. Don't hide your scars. Don't be ashamed of them. They tell the story of survival, of endurance, of the fact that nothing could destroy you. Your scars are trophies of resilience. When you realize you're built to last, you stop living in fear of what might happen. You know that no matter what comes, you'll find a way through. You stop asking, what if I fall? And start saying, what if I fly? You walk differently when you know you're not fragile. The next challenge won't break you because you've been through worse. The next setback won't stop you because you know how to rise. The next storm won't sink you because you've learned how to stand. You are proof of resilience, strength, and endurance. So stop doubting yourself. Stop underestimating what you carry. You've been through too much to quit now. You are stronger than you think, tougher than you feel, and more capable than you've ever imagined. Nobody likes pain. Pain makes you want to run, hide, escape. But pain is also a teacher, a refiner, a transformer. Pain will teach you lessons that comfort never could. Pain produces power if you let it. Every scar on your body or your soul tells a story. It may be a story of betrayal, of loss, of disappointment, of failure, but it's also a story of survival. What hurt you didn't destroy you. What wounded you didn't end you. You carry the proof that you can endure. Pain changes how you see yourself. It strips away illusions, it breaks down pride, and it forces you to confront the truth of who you are. And in that raw, vulnerable place, you discover a strength you didn't know existed. Pain introduces you to the real you. The very thing that hurt you the most is the thing God will use to help others the most. Your greatest ministry will often come from your deepest misery. The area of your greatest pain will be the area of your greatest power. That's why you can't waste your pain. It's too valuable. Pain builds empathy. It teaches you to see others differently. Once you've walked through suffering, you'll never look at another hurting person the same way again. Pain softens your heart and sharpens your perspective. It makes you more human, more compassionate, more alive. Don't despise the pain. Let it mold you. Let it teach you. Let it lift you. What you thought was breaking you is actually shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than you've ever been. Every time you overcome pain, you gain power. Power to push through. Power to help others. Power to face the next battle with more confidence than the last. Pain isn't pleasant, but it is purposeful. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what is this producing in me? Because if you let it, your pain will become your platform, your scars will become your strength, and your wounds will become your wisdom. Fear is one of the greatest prisons a person can live in. It doesn't have to chain your body to keep you locked down. It only has to chain your mind. Fear whispers in the night, telling you what you can't do, where you can't go, who you can't be. But fear is a liar, and the only way it controls you is if you believe it. Fear thrives in imagination. It paints pictures of failure, embarrassment, and pain before you even take the first step. That's why so many people never move. They're living in scenarios that don't even exist. Fear convinces you the worst will happen, while faith declares that God is already working for your good. Fear tries to paralyze progress. It makes you stand at the edge of opportunity but never leap. It makes you settle for safe when you were meant for more. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. The bravest people you know were scared too, but they didn't let fear call the shots. God didn't put fear inside you. He put faith, He put vision, He put strength. Fear is not part of your original design. It's an intruder, and the only way it wins is if you give it permission. Every time you step out, even trembling, you prove that fear doesn't own you. Think of the times you pushed past fear. The first time you spoke up when you thought your voice would shake. The first time you tried something new when you weren't sure how it would turn out. The first time you stood up for yourself when you could have stayed silent. Every victory over fear made you stronger. Fear will always show up at the doorway of destiny. Every new level comes with a new intimidation. That's why you can't wait for fear to disappear before you move. You have to move while it's still present. On the other side of fear is freedom, but you'll never know it until you cross through. Fear tells you, what if it goes wrong? But faith whispers, what if it goes right? Fear magnifies obstacles, but faith magnifies God. Fear shrinks your life, but faith expands it. The choice is yours. Live in fear or live in faith. So when fear shows up, don't run from it. Face it. Speak against it. Step through it, because fear can only hold you if you let it, and once you stop giving it power, you'll see how much more was waiting for you on the other side. Every no you've ever faced felt like a door slammed in your face. It stung, it bruised, it made you question your worth. But rejection is not the end. It's redirection. It's God closing one door to push you toward the one He intended for you all along. At the time, rejection feels like failure. You didn't get the job, the relationship ended, the opportunity slipped away. But what if that rejection was saving you from years of wasted time? What if it was protection disguised as disappointment? Sometimes God has to allow a door to shut so you won't settle for less than what He planned. Rejection teaches you that your value doesn't depend on other people's acceptance. Just because someone doesn't see your worth doesn't mean you don't have it. Sometimes people reject you because they can't handle you. Sometimes doors close because you've outgrown them. Think about all the no's that led you to better yeses, the friendships that ended so new ones could begin, the job you didn't get that led you to the one that changed your life. The relationship that broke you but made room for the one that built you. Every no was making space for something greater. Rejection forces you to trust God's plan over your own. You may think you know what's best, but only He sees the full picture. And when you learn to trust that His no means not this, not now, not here, you stop chasing closed doors and start waiting for the right one to open. Redirection is God's way of saying, I've got something better. But if you stay stuck mourning the door that closed, you might miss the one He's opening. Don't let bitterness keep you from blessing. Don't let disappointment make you blind to destiny. Every rejection you've endured was a push, not a punishment. It was pushing you out of comfort zones, out of toxic spaces, out of environments that couldn't hold your future. Rejection hurts, but it's also holy. It's God's hand guiding you. So don't resent the rejection. Thank God for it. Because when you look back, you'll realize that every closed door was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of a new one. We spend so much of our lives trying to hide our cracks, our flaws, our mistakes. We think we have to be perfect for God to use us. But God does His best work with broken pieces. What you think disqualifies you is often the very thing He uses to show His glory. Brokenness makes you real. Nobody can connect to perfection. They connect to humanity, to vulnerability, to authenticity. When you share your broken pieces, you show others that healing is possible, that survival is possible, that hope is still alive. Look through history and you'll see God never needed perfect vessels. He used liars, doubters, failures, and outcasts. He used people with pasts, people with scars, people who thought they were done. And He turned their brokenness into testimonies that still inspire the world. Your broken pieces are not wasted. They are the very places where light shines through. A vessel without cracks doesn't glow, but a broken one lets the light escape. What you're trying to cover up may be the very thing that draws people closer to God. Brokenness builds humility. It reminds you that your strength comes from Him, not from yourself. It keeps you dependent. It keeps you surrendered. It keeps you aware that without Him, you are nothing, but with Him, you are everything. Broken pieces create beauty. A mosaic is made of shattered fragments, yet when pieced together, it becomes a masterpiece. Your life is no different. The parts that feel scattered and shattered are being arranged into something extraordinary. Don't disqualify yourself because you're broken. That brokenness is what makes you usable. That brokenness is what makes you relatable. That brokenness is what makes you powerful. So stop hiding your cracks. Stop pretending to be whole when God is ready to use your brokenness. Because when He puts the pieces together, everyone will see that it wasn't you, it was Him all along. Nobody grows without resistance. Just like muscles need weight to get stronger, your spirit needs struggle to grow deeper. Growth never happens in comfort. It happens in challenge. in opposition, in the moments that stretch you beyond what you thought you could handle. Struggle reveals strength. You don't know how strong you are until you have no choice but to be strong. You don't know how much faith you carry until it's tested. Struggle is the training ground for greatness. If life was easy, you'd stay the same. Because struggle forces you to evolve, to adapt, to push past limits. Every obstacle is an opportunity to expand. Every challenge is a chance to discover more of who you are. Struggle builds perseverance. It teaches you how to keep going when you want to quit, how to rise when you've been knocked down, how to fight when everything in you says surrender. That perseverance becomes the foundation for your future victories. Struggle also shapes character. It humbles you, grounds you, and refines you. It strips away entitlement and replaces it with gratitude. It teaches you to appreciate what you once took for granted. It makes you more compassionate toward others who are still in their fight. The seasons of struggle prepare you for the seasons of success. If you can't handle struggle, you won't be able to handle success because success comes with its own challenges. Struggle toughens you for the weight of blessing. Don't run from struggle. Embrace it as proof that you're growing, as evidence that you're on your way somewhere greater. Struggle means you're in training for something bigger than yourself. So the next time you feel the weight pressing down, don't complain. Thank God. Because the struggle that's stretching you today is the very thing that will make you stronger tomorrow. Sometimes it feels like you've been pushing forever with no results. You're tired, you're worn out, you're wondering if it's even worth it. But breakthrough often comes when you least expect it, and you are closer than you think. The darkest part of the night is right before dawn. The moment you feel like quitting is often the moment before the breakthrough. That's why the enemy pushes hardest when you're closest. He knows if you keep going, you'll step into victory. Think of a seed underground. It pushes against the soil day after day with no sign of progress above the surface. But one day it breaks through. What looks like sudden success was actually steady progress hidden from sight. Your life works the same way. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Growth is taking place in the unseen. Doors are being prepared. Opportunities are aligning. The work is being done behind the curtain, and when it's revealed, it will look like it happened overnight. You've come too far to turn back now. Every step you've taken has brought you closer to the promise. Don't let fatigue make you forget how far you've come. Don't let discouragement blind you to how close you are. You are not at the beginning. You are at the edge. And sometimes all it takes is one more push, one more prayer, one more act of faith to tip the balance in your favor. Your breakthrough won't look like a slow fade. It will look like a sudden shift. One call, one connection, one opportunity can change everything, but you'll take a source. You'll never see it if you stop now. So keep pressing, keep moving, keep believing, because you are closer than you think, and what's ahead will make every step worth it. Broken doesn't mean finished. Too many people confuse the two. A seed has to be broken in the soil before it can grow into a tree. A bone heals stronger after it's been broken. Brokenness is not the end. It's often the beginning of something greater. When you feel broken, you feel useless, discarded, forgotten. But God sees your brokenness differently. He sees it as fertile ground, as the place where new life begins. What looks like the end to you is just the setup for transformation. Brokenness humbles you. It strips away pride, self-reliance, and illusions of control. It brings you to the end of yourself so you can discover the beginning of God's strength. Broken is the place where His power shines brightest. Think of how many times you thought you were finished, only to realize later that you were being rebuilt. Every season of brokenness has led to greater wisdom, greater compassion, greater strength. Brokenness doesn't disqualify you, it equips you. It makes you more real, more relatable, more effective. People don't need someone who's never been broken. They need someone who has and still found a way through. Brokenness creates depth. It digs into the layers of your soul, uncovering things you never would have known without the breaking. It pulls out hidden resilience, hidden creativity, hidden faith. Don't curse your brokenness. Embrace it as a tool for growth, because the places you thought were dead are the very places God will resurrect life. So when you feel broken, don't assume it's over. Broken is not finished. It's the first step toward becoming whole in a way you never imagined. Feelings are powerful, but they're not always truthful. One day you wake up motivated, the next you wake up heavy. One moment you feel like you can conquer the world, the next you feel like hiding under the covers. If you live by feelings, your life will always be unstable. That's why faith must be stronger than feelings. Feelings will tell you, you're not enough. You can't do this. You're not qualified. But faith tells you, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Feelings say, I'm too weak. Faith says, His strength is made perfect in my weakness. Feelings focus on what you see. Faith focuses on what you don't yet see, but know is coming. You can't control what you feel, but you can control what you follow. Feelings are real, but they are not the foundation of your future. They're temporary. They shift like the weather. Faith is the anchor that holds you steady, no matter what storms are swirling inside you. There will be days when you don't feel like praying, but faith prays anyway. Days you don't feel like forgiving, but faith forgives anyway. Days you don't feel like moving forward, but faith takes the step anyway. Faith doesn't deny feelings, it overrules them. Think about how many times your feelings have lied to you. They told you that you were done when you weren't. They told you that you were unloved when you were cherished. They told you that you'd never make it, but here you are, proving them wrong. If you had lived by feelings, you wouldn't be standing where you are right now. Faith requires a decision. It's choosing to believe even when you don't feel it. It's saying, I trust God, even when everything in you is screaming, quit. Faith is not about emotions. It's about commitment. It's about anchoring your life in truth rather than temporary waves. The enemy wants you to be controlled by feelings because he knows they change every day. But when you stand in faith, he can't move you. He can shake your emotions, but he can't shake your foundation. He can stir fear, but he can't steal your faith. So when feelings rise, acknowledge them, but don't bow to them. Let faith lead you where feelings never could, because feelings will trap you in cycles, but faith will carry you into destiny. You are not ordinary. There is greatness inside you, planted by God Himself. That's why life has been so hard on you. That's why the enemy has fought you since you were young. Empty vessels aren't attacked. Only full ones are. The pressure on your life is proof of the greatness within. Greatness is not about fame, applause, or recognition. Greatness is about fulfilling your purpose, making an impact, and leaving behind something that outlasts you. It's about being faithful to the gift inside you, no matter who sees it or doesn't see it. You may not feel great, but greatness isn't about how you feel. It's about what God placed in you. Seeds don't look like much when they're buried in the dirt, but they hold entire forests inside of them. You may look small, overlooked, underestimated, but inside of you is something that can change generations. Life tries to convince you that you're less. It whispers that your mistakes disqualify you, your past defines you, your struggles prove you're weak. But those are lies. Every setback you've faced is proof of resilience. Every obstacle you've overcome is evidence of strength, and every dream that refuses to die inside you is confirmation of greatness. Greatness doesn't come without opposition. The bigger the calling, the bigger the conflict. The heavier the destiny, the heavier the warfare. You've been under attack because of what you carry, not because of what you lack. If you weren't destined for greatness, life wouldn't be fighting you this hard. Stop underestimating yourself. Stop comparing yourself. Stop letting small-minded people convince you to shrink. You don't have to apologize for the greatness inside you. It's not arrogance, it's assignment. You were created to make a difference, not to blend in. Every gift you carry is needed. Every talent, every skill, every story you have survived is part of your greatness. Don't bury it, don't silence it, don't let fear keep it locked away. Somebody is waiting for what you carry. So walk with confidence, not because you're perfect, but because you're purposed, not because you've done everything right, but because God placed something right inside of you. Greatness is not out there, it's in you. Nobody likes breaking down. It feels like the end, like everything is falling apart beyond repair. But breakdowns are often the doorway to breakthroughs. Sometimes you have to be stripped down to nothing so that something greater can be rebuilt. Breakdowns reveal what's unstable. They expose the cracks, the weaknesses, the things you thought were holding you together but weren't. And once those things are exposed, they can be healed, repaired, and replaced with something stronger. You may feel like your life is crumbling, but what if it's not crumbling down, it's crumbling into place? What if the breakdown you're experiencing is simply clearing away everything that was blocking your breakthrough? Sometimes you don't realize what was holding you back until it's broken off you. Breakdowns force you to stop relying on your own strength. When you've done all you can and it's still not enough, you finally realize you need God in a way you never did before. And in that place of surrender, power flows, wisdom comes, and new doors open. Think about the times you thought you couldn't take one more hit, one more disappointment, one more heartbreak, but those were the moments that changed you the most. Those were the moments that pushed you closer to God, that redefined your priorities, that made you stronger than you ever imagined. Breakdowns also strip away pride. They make you realize that success, money, and recognition can't hold you together. They bring you face to face with what really matters: your faith, your family, your purpose. Breakdowns feel like endings, but they're really beginnings. They're the messy part before the miracle, the tears before the triumph, the test before the testimony. Don't judge the story too soon. You might be in the middle of a breakdown that's leading to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. So if you're breaking down right now, don't lose hope. You are not falling apart. You are being rebuilt. And on the other side of this, you'll see that the breakdown was just the birthplace of breakthrough. Loneliness is one of the heaviest weights to carry. It makes you feel invisible, unheard, forgotten. But no matter how alone you feel, you are never truly alone. God promised He would never leave you nor forsake you, and that promise still stands. People may walk away, friends may fail you, family may not understand you, but D doesn't measure loyalty like people do. When everyone else steps back, He steps closer. When others give up on you, He holds on tighter. You may not feel His presence, but feelings are not facts. Just because you don't feel Him doesn't mean He's not there. He's in the silence. He's in the stillness. He's in the moments you thought you were abandoned but somehow found the strength to keep going. Think about the times you should have collapsed, but you didn't. The times you thought you'd lost your mind, but peace showed up. The times you were about to give up, but something kept you moving. That something was Him, always there, even when you didn't recognize it. Loneliness is a lie the enemy uses to isolate you. He wants you to think you're forgotten, so you'll give up. But the truth is, you are always seen, always loved, always surrounded by the presence of God, even in the valley, even in the fire, even in the darkest places. He's there. You don't have to face battles alone. You don't have to fight giants by yourself. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have a helper, a comforter, a friend who never fails. When you truly realize you're not alone, courage rises. You stop being afraid of what's against you because you know who is with you. You stop fearing abandonment because you know the one who stays. So even when you feel isolated, remind yourself you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not alone. His presence is your greatest strength, and His companionship is unshakable. You may bend under pressure, but you won't break. You may stumble in weakness, but you won't fall. You may cry through pain, but you won't quit. Because God's promise over your life is greater than any problem you're facing. He won't let you break. Life has tried to crush you, but you're still here. That's not an accident. That's divine protection. If it was up to circumstances, you'd be finished. If it was up to people, you'd be written off. But it's not up to them. It's up to the God who declared that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You've been bent by disappointment, stretched by hardship, and tested by fire, but you're still standing. That's proof that there's a power greater than your own holding you together. That's proof that God has a hedge around your life that nothing can penetrate. Breaking points come, but they don't define you. You may have moments when you feel like snapping, moments when the weight is unbearable, moments when you don't know how to keep going, but somehow strength shows up, somehow peace arrives, somehow you make it through. That's because God already factored in every struggle before you ever faced it. He knew what you could handle, and He knew what He would carry for you. He never gives you more than you and He together can bear. Don't mistake struggle for defeat. Don't confuse weariness with weakness. You may feel like you're breaking, but in reality, you're being built. Every test is shaping resilience. Every fight is developing strength. Every tear is tearing the soil for growth. The enemy wants you to believe that this is the end, but it's not. The pressure you're under is not proof of destruction, it's proof of destiny. You wouldn't be fought this hard if you weren't carrying something worth protecting. So stand tall, wipe your tears, take another step, because the God who created you has already decided you will not break.